We back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's your boy Jonathan Big Tech Johnson for Everything Football 62. I'm going to go into, like I said, we have news over the past week with different news topics that I'm dealing with right now. The next topic I'm dealing with is O.J. Simpson. Now, a lot of people are going to sit up there, what is he going to talk about and everything like that? No, I'm talking about football, O.J. Simpson. I'm not concerned with that other stuff. That doesn't concern me. Um, as a child, as a kid that was born in 1968, as a 5 to 6 year old, and we're talking about 1973, 74, around that particular age, around that particular age, I was a fanatic of O.J. Simpson fan. That's when I first started learning about football, started loving the Dallas Cowboys, but I love O.J. Simpson as a running back, and that's what I'm dealing with as a running back. O.J. Simpson, by far, bar none, was probably the best back in the 70s as you would have. OJ coming out, Heisman Trophy winner. Heisman Trophy winner. I think they may have won a national championship at USC or something like that. I'm not sure. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I know leading leading the nation in rushing and all that kind of stuff. So OJ Simpson was a phenomenal running back coming out of that of USC. What a lot of people don't realize is like from 69, 70, 71 O.J. Simpson in today's terms, if he was coming out today, if this would have been, let's say, 2013 or 2000 or 2014, 15, 16, and getting ready to go into 17, O.J. would be considered a bust pretty much by now. By the time of age 24, 25, he would be considered like he's getting ready to be a bust because he's not being the back that we thought he was going to be, right? Then O.J. Simpson just went on his tear from 1972 to 1970 to 1976, to where, bar none, O.J. was the best back in football. He led the league 4 times in rushing. I don't know really what happened in '74 that much. He didn't lead. It was a guy from Denver actually led uh, in rushing, but OJ didn't. If he would have led, he would have led 5 years in a row, led in rushing. It hasn't been that many backs that have led the league 4 times in rushing and whatnot. OJ, aside from leading 4 times, 4 years in rushing, and both times was 2 years in a row. So that's 4 years in a 72, 73, 74, 75, 76 season. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So he's looking at five seasons. He led 4 times. I think his second leading rusher in the year in 1974 when he didn't get that. He led the league, like I said, 4 times. Led the league 3 times in rushes, in carries. He led the league 3 times in the most longest runs. He led the league once in per carry, yards per carry, right? He led the league yards per game 3 times. He led the league three times in yards from scrimmage. So we're talking about someone as charismatic as OJ was coming out. And like I said, remember, and for those who really know this, if you go back, guys that are a lot older than I am, his age, a little bit younger, or whatever. But like I said, you do your research and you'll find out with all these specials and everything like that coming out because it's a generation of kids that all they know is OJ from 1994. Some of them. Some of them don't even, that's 1994. That's even if he was born 94, as if he was a kid that was born in, like, let's say 1979, 77, 78, 79. If he was a kid born at the same, because O.J. Simpson, basically his career was done in like 1979. He was done. So you don't. The only thing you know of AJ for OJ, if he was born 79 to 80, the only thing you pretty much know about OJ is going to be the case. It's going to be that stuff that happened in 1994. No, I'm dealing with football, OJ. That's all I want to deal with. Like I said, this is what was called everything football. That's all I'm dealing with. I don't have time for all that other stuff. Let's deal with the football player. OJ Simpson was, like I said, Heisman Trophy winner, All American, I think probably 2 years in a row. One of the he's best. He's definitely one of the best backs that ever played in college. He's one of the best backs that ever played in football. I think one of the things that you'll see if you ever go to YouTube, look up back in 2010, they did the top 100 players in the NFL of all time, and Chuck Klosterman did a piece on him. that I thought was phenomenal. He did a couple of pieces. He did one on Jack Lemmon that was really good, but he did definitely a piece on OJ. And a lot of people just forget about that because, of course, of all the stuff that happened, you don't know that. I'm just dealing with people that know about his football prowess. I'm not talking about that other stuff because that's not what I want to deal with. Let's deal with his football stuff. If you deal with his football stuff, you'll start to see exactly what I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about is that OJ, like I said, the yards that he accumulated, the 2003 yards in a 14 game season, that's something that's not going to happen again. And one of my favorite backs of all time is Eric Dickerson. And Eric Dickerson did what he did, but hey, when you talk about 2003 yards in a 14 game season off of a team that you talk about, he played 11 years and he went to the playoffs one time, once. You don't even know who the quarterback was. I know it was Joe Ferguson, but a lot of people have no idea, no clue. What was your receiver? Basically, you had the electric company with Joe DeLaminor, him, Reggie McKenzie, them guys. That's pretty much it, man. This is what he's dealing with. O.J. Simpson played on a team like the Steelers or whatever. I don't even know if his records would even be touched. He was just that dominant of a type of a back. And then, like I said, in that 5 year stretch, he was the best back, bar none. And you had Walter Payton that was coming up and stuff like that. But at the same time, Walter Payton led the league once. O.J. led the league 4 times in rushing, and with the 2003 yards in a season, and plus over 270 some odd yards on a Thanksgiving game when they only threw for like what 20 some odd yards maybe. He ran the ball. They still lost. He ran for over 200. So it's like, so as far as with OJ Simpson as a running back, and it's like it's kind of a travesty that they put him at the on that list. I think he's like 40 or something like that. No, OJ, he the running back was the focal point of your game back in the 70s, back when they ran the ball, whether you was Larry Zonka, whether you was Calvin Hill, whether you was Chuck Foreman, you know what I'm saying, any of those type of guys from back in the day, Larry Brown of the Skins, you had these particular type of backs and stuff like that, man. It's like, you know, uh, that's what they were. And like I said, he was head and shoulders and he was that back. He was like, if he would have got, uh, you know, with the coach that started coming up, started giving him the ball. If he would have had the same career, if he would have just had the coach that was willing to give him the ball instead of trouble, because OJ was just basically at the end of the day pure tailback, pure. That was what he did in everything. He ran the ball. When they had the greatest of hands or anything, he ran the ball. You take him and with Lou Saban, I think was his name, and take him from '69 all the way until all the years that he played there at Buffalo, till his last year he played with Buffalo. His yards would be it would be out of this world for the most part. It would definitely be out of this world. But he literally, for the first 3 years of his career, he pretty much wasted away. He didn't do really too much of anything. He barely got the ball in him. And all you talking about 697 yards, 488 yards, and then 742, then 1251, 2003, 1125, 1817, 1503. Then as time goes on, because you're getting in your late 20s, and Buffalo was not very a good team, then OJ started getting injury bug and whatnot. So OJ's years basically was from basically at the end of the day from 72 to 1976. But he led the league, like I said, in a 5 year period 4 times. So that tells you everything you need to know about the juice. People could talk all that mess, but let's just talk about from a football standpoint of view. OJ exemplified what the running back was. He did his thing. The yards, the yards talk for itself. The things that he led, the stats that I came up with earlier, and that I gave to you earlier. Just look that stuff up and go and look at some of the runs. OJ was a elusive back, powerful back, speed. He had it all. He had it all. And that's all I'm going to talk about is that, as me, as a kid coming up, I'm a Texas kid, coming up, and I lived in Oklahoma City as well as up in Oklahoma City, and ended up staying in San Antonio, Texas. I used to have a white T-shirt with 32 that I took with a mark and put 32 on it. I had those jersey shirts for guys that remembers my age, 49 to 50 years old and older. Remember those shirts, and a helmet. It was all about OJ. OJ was a hell of a back, and props need to be given. If we just talking football, I'm not talking that other shit. We talking about football. Top running back, top 5, top 10 running back of all time, bar none. So, whatever he does after that, whatever, I'm talking football. One of the top backs of all time in pro, and probably one of the top 10 backs of all time in college football history. All right. So, just want to give a shout out to OJ Simpson, the football player. Not worried about the other stuff. The football player, one of the best that ever did it. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on my YouTube page, Jonathan Big, saying? Everything Football 62. Leave a comment. We can talk. All right. Thank you.